Now, if you want to make money with YouTube and build a profitable channel, then it's important that you get your niche right from day one. And not just your niche, but the angle itself, the angle that you're going to take within that particular market, the way that you're going to position your channel and your brand. So in this video, I've created a full niche clarity workshop that will take you through the whole process from start to finish of creating something I like to call your 4W statement. This will allow you to bring complete clarity to your channel and your long-term business. It will give you your elevator pitch and really make you understand who you serve and exactly what they want from you and watching your videos. So with that said, let's jump into my computer and I'll take you through the process. If you want to convert your views into profits, then you first need to know who you serve and what they actually want. You need to start with the end goal in mind first and reverse engineer from there. I often call this a profit-first approach, but it's more of a results or outcome-first approach. Most of the time, people just pick a general topic or niche and start creating content with a plan to get views first and then find ways to monetize the attention later. Like these things are somehow unconnected steps. But this is a terrible plan, and it rarely works. Without a clear destination or goal in mind, it's seriously difficult to stay on track, and it leads to a broader channel with mixed content that speaks to no one. These channels tend to grow slowly and lack the engagement that you really want. Picking a niche, or at least clarifying who your videos are for, is where nearly everyone gets stuck. We often fear being too niche, thinking bigger is better and larger audiences mean more views. But that's not how YouTube works, at least not in the beginning. The algorithm is more advanced than ever, and it can find your target audience quickly, but you really need to help train it on your perfect viewer. Being too broad or constantly changing your niche angle can lead to splitting your channel and confusing not just YouTube, but your target audience in the process, which in turn leads to lower engagement and slower overall growth. You need to speak to a particular individual. We call this your customer avatar, which is the viewer who all of your content is actually made for. They should want to watch every piece of your content that you create and become raving fans. A bit like someone binge watching a series on Netflix. The issue is that we can't seem to settle on a niche in the first place. This is normally out of a fear of being wrong or failing, or maybe you think by keeping things more general, you can cover more bases, continuously tweaking or changing direction, and never really actually settling. And because of this indecision, you may have started multiple channels or even failed in the past, often listening to conflicting information or getting distracted by new opportunities, something we often call shiny object syndrome. If a niche doesn't feel right in the beginning, then even a small amount of doubt can lead to buyer's remorse later on at the first sign of trouble. The truth is, if you can't settle on your niche with confidence, then you will struggle to stick with it, and it will be hard for you to make any money or grow a real brand. It's like being in a relationship that you aren't quite sure about. You will always have one foot out the door. This is the first, and I believe the biggest domino that needs to fall. If you get this right in your head, then everything else becomes easier. You don't need to get it 100% right first time. Your niche and avatar will always change slightly as you speak to your audience and start to grow your channel. But you do need to have a good idea of the end destination that you want to help people get to, a common thread or theme for your channel and brand that links all of your content together. Just like when you speak to a friend who shares a common passion or interest, the conversation flows. It's enjoyable and easy. This is what it's like to grow a business and brand when everyone is heading in the same direction. For example, I like motorbikes, but these days I just drive a big automatic scooter as it's easier in the traffic. It's more function than passion. So although I still like motorbikes and would like to get a proper one again one day, I currently have no real passion or deep interest. I'm a biker with a bike, a full license, and years of driving experience. On paper, I should like motorbike channels and be their target audience, but I'm very different from the people they really should be targeting. When I come across true bike fans and talk about the techie stuff, ride-outs, or all of the different models, I glaze over and they completely lose me. So although I have a shared interest, we are not the same. I'm not their target avatar, and I'm also unlikely to spend money on that interest. I may watch the odd video, but if you have thousands of subscribers like me, you're going to struggle to grow, and I have no desire or pains that you can tap into. When you understand who you serve and what they ultimately want from watching your videos, everything falls into place and just clicks. Now, I find that most of us that start a channel are in two camps. The professional or expert who wants to share their knowledge in the hope of monetizing it. These people may already have an online business and be making money in some way. The other is the creative entrepreneur who sees people making money with YouTube and wants a piece of the pie for themselves. Both can succeed, but the first has a slight advantage as they already have some clarity on their topic. But regardless of this, both need to go through the process I'm about to show you, especially if you think you already have your niche, as I almost guarantee you don't. You may be close, but it probably won't be 100% right. The overconfident YouTuber is often the one who starts fast and fails even faster. Let me say it again, if you don't know where you're going, how can you hope to reach your goals with YouTube? If your plan is just to copy what someone else is doing, then you're probably going to fail. Just because some guru is telling you that it's easy doesn't make it true, especially as a beginner. You literally don't know what you don't know. Most of us are not going to be getting millions of monthly views, and that's what you really need if you plan to live off ad revenue alone. And the days of growing low-effort, faceless channels are definitely over now. Competition is massive, and YouTube won't monetize it unless they're of high quality. You need to focus on growing a brand and have a monetization goal for the channel from day one. It can be faceless, branded, or even a hybrid channel, just as long as you connect with your audience and find a way to stand out. Trust and connection are going to be massive over the next year as we see more and more AI content hit the platform. Another important reason to be highly targeted is because you want to be ready for a video going viral. You could literally be just one video away from your channel exploding. But if that video doesn't target your perfect avatar, then it does the complete opposite. I learned this the hard way and it killed a channel of mine. I got over 1 million views on a video, but it wasn't my normal type of content. And this meant that I gained thousands of views and subscribers who didn't like the rest of my content, and they weren't in my target countries, so it actually made me very little money. Then, every video I uploaded afterwards struggled, as it wasn't what the new audience wanted. That one viral video felt like a success, but it had in fact destroyed my channel. It created a false audience in the algorithm, and yes, I could delete the video and continue with my target audience, but it would be an uphill struggle, as I would now have to work against the algorithm until it finds the right audience. And 1 million views brings a lot of new subscribers, I mean thousands. So it's like swimming against the current in a river. Sure, you can do it, but it's going to be way harder. So it's really important to get this right from day one. Had I clarified who my channel was for in the beginning, I wouldn't have made that particular video that went viral, as it wasn't a match for my audience. The goal of this workshop is to help you create something I like to call the 4W statement. It's the who, with, what, without of your audience. And don't worry about validating or making things perfect at this point. We can fine-tune things later on. Think of this like your first draft. You could also create a few statements for different ideas and see how they feel. It should open up a wide number of video ideas in your head and make the direction ahead feel clearer. A bit like taking a big breath of air. I get this may seem odd, but trust me with this. When it clicks, you start to get a flood of ideas. Now, unless you have a clear idea of what you want to do already, then start by writing down ideas from the following. And make sure to pause the video as required so you can follow along. Firstly, write down any skills you have in both work and your personal life. These are your zones of expertise. Next, what passions and interests do you have? Write them down. What outcomes, both good and bad, have you had in your life that people may be interested in? This could be anything from buying a house to going through a painful divorce. Next, what questions or topics do your friends, work colleagues, or clients always come to you for help with? If nothing comes to mind, then why not message a bunch of your friends and family asking what things they would come to you for advice or help with? Obviously, give them some context so they don't think you're weird, but the answers may actually surprise you. What experiences do you have in your life that people may find interesting? Write them all down, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And finally, what would you really like to learn in life or business that you could document the journey in? Then, once you're done, look at your list and decide which subjects you could talk about for hours, even if you weren't getting paid. If other topics come to mind when you think about this, say things that you talk about all the time, like politics, then write those down as well. Are there any topics that energize you on this list? If there are, then highlight them. And ask yourself, what on this list would you like to be known for? For example, do you know Gareth? He's that YouTube growth guy. Or he's that guy that shows people how to make money with YouTube. There may, of course, be subjects that you don't want to be known for publicly. So make sure that you eliminate these. This list should give you a good starting point. You want to ideally try to pick something that interests you, energizes you, and that people are likely to spend money in. It may be that some of your passions aren't that easy to monetize, but when combined with another skill or interest, it could be. So don't be afraid to mash things up. And if you really don't have anything at this point, then just focus on what you could learn and share by documenting your growth. This is also known as the hero's journey. For example, I could talk about my personal development journey, sharing and summarizing what I learn along the way, without the need to claim that I'm some expert or trying to fake it until I make it. The beginner's market is actually the biggest, and people can relate to where you are now, so it's often an advantage being at the beginning. Once you have your rough idea or topic, you are ready for the next step, which is the 4W statement. The framework is as follows. The who. For example, I help, or show, or teach blank. This is going to be the person or group that you serve. For example, business owners or basketball players. Next, we have the what. This is the outcome that they want or need from watching your videos and being part of your community. It's their underlying desire. The with is the thing that you intend to use to get them the desired result, also known as the vehicle. For example, I help basketball players jump higher with special training techniques. And finally, the without. This is the painful thing that they want to avoid during the process. Believe it or not, people will actually go further to avoid pain than they will to achieve their dreams. It's why big changes in life often only happen after massive pain. For example, we all have that friend or relative who goes to the ends of the earth to get the best deal, even though the time and energy wasted in doing so can often outweigh the saving itself. Honestly, this always makes me laugh, but it's the way that we're all wired, though some often more than others. Take my partner as an example. She would happily travel for twice as long if it meant that she got a good saving on a flight, even if it means having terrible jet lag for days, which for me is absolutely insane, as I value my time and energy more. She sees this as a win, where I see it as a loss. But in general, we all see losses as being much more significant than the wins. It's a concept known as loss aversion. If my partner spends the extra, she sees it as a tangible loss now, rather than a win later in stress and time saved. For that reason, it's important that you include at least one of the main pain points you will be helping them avoid in the statement. When you put all of that together, you should have something like this. I help blank, with blank, using blank, without blank. Or, I help experts and educators grow their online business and brand with YouTube, without even having to be on camera or creating hundreds of videos. The who is the experts and educators. The what is grow their online business and brand. The with is YouTube. The without is having to be on camera or even having to create hundreds of videos. Now, in order to start fleshing this out for yourself, you want to try out multiple ideas and combinations for each. Write out a list for the who, then the what, and so on, creating variations of the 4W statement. You should then have a bunch of ideas based around one or many target audiences. What I like to do next is use ChatGPT to test out variations and combinations. It's great at shortening your sentence or finding better, more catchy wording to make it more memorable. You could even take information from your competitors' channels to get 4W statement ideas based on what they are doing. Just make sure the statement resonates with you and makes sense to your target audience. This is your clarity statement, not your copying statement. So don't just leave it all up to ChatGPT. With that said, let's run through a few examples together. I've also created a ChatGPT prompt for you to use, and I'll paste that below this video. Okay, so the first thing you want to do once you're inside ChatGPT is paste the prompt that I put below this video. Here you're going to see what I've put. So basically it's saying generate a 4W statement using the framework and description provided below. So we have the framework, which is the who, description, the what, description, the with, and the without. And then it's basically explaining what the goal of this statement is. So the goal is to clarify what our business and brand does at a glance. It should quickly convey exactly who we serve and how we serve them to anyone that asks. This is the thread or theme that ties everything that we do together, from content creation to products and services we sell. Next, you want to come down to the description, and this is where you would put a whole bunch of information. So that could be information that you've gathered here that you just weren't quite sure how to organize into the 4W statement, and you could put it here. Maybe it's a sort of description of your business that you already have, or you could actually skip all of this and just put your 4W statement in and ask it to create variations, perhaps saying make it shorter, make it more concise, make it simpler. And you could try that and basically get ChatGPT to help brainstorm. Just as I said, be careful that you make sure that the statement resonates with you and your target audience, because that's the most important thing. ChatGPT can make things more catchy, make it rhyme, make it a bit more sexy and definitely shorter, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily better. Sometimes the statement may seem a bit wordy, but if that helps you at a glance, then that's the most important thing. You can always create something shorter later on when you're creating something that's going to be audience focused and something you're going to tell the general public. So it's mainly to bring you clarity for your actual customers. You can fine tune it later on. So here we want to find something to put. So if we were going to start with our competition, then what I like to do is come to their channel and their community. So we've got Aaron here, which he's got a channel that I've been checking out and basically researching how he makes money with channels and communities. What I like to do, some of the channels that are well established have put some effort into their about section. Then we come across to his community, which is High Vibe Tribe. And again, he's got a shorter, because you don't want to make it too long, version of what he does in this community. So that gives us some good information here. So we can take some or all of that and put it into the description in ChatGPT. So let me take this back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to paste it here. Get rid of that. And let's see what it creates. Okay, so there we go. It's created a 4W statement based on that information. So the who is individuals seeking spiritual growth and self-improvement to raise their vibration and create the life of their dreams by making spirituality practical and relatable through powerful meditations, videos, and step-by-step guides. Great, without feeling overwhelmed or disconnected from their true potential. I think that sounds good. So you could then say, put it into a statement. And there you go. We help individuals seeking spiritual growth and self-improvement raise their vibration and create the life of their dreams by making spirituality practical and relatable through powerful meditations, videos, and step-by-step guides without feeling overwhelmed or disconnected from their true potential. So that's great. Now, if you were looking to create something similar, then obviously that's going to give you some great inspiration to see what's potentially working. We could then do something for another business. So this is obviously a little bit more in the sort of spiritual mindset side of things, but what about a more business-orientated group? So we come across this one, and I like this channel. He creates animated videos and explains how to do that in terms of selling it for commercial reasons. So his job and his community, we move through to that, is basically helping people to create these promotional videos that they can sell. Now I can see that he doesn't have very much information here, but if we go back, he's got quite a bit of information here. And inside his channel, if we go to his about, he's got a good description here as well. So what we can do is come across, I can copy this again. New ChatGPT, paste it, and then come back to the channel. And there we go. Take the 100 information, simple. You learn how to convert any topic into fun learning. Right, so let's take this, paste it there. Now, you may want to obviously edit some of the information you're taking here, but for the sake of this, forward video, and let's see what ChatGPT creates. So again, we've got experts looking to transform their knowledge into video content, achieve engaging and educational video content that effectively communicates their expertise, a comprehensive approach, including video recording techniques, voiceover narration, script writing, graphic design, animation, AI tools, content marketing strategies, course creation, and more. So it's a pretty big width. And then we have without avoiding overwhelm, technical challenges, the fear of imposter syndrome. So probably based on, a lack of information here, although we did have some imposter syndrome and other things. So let's go make it into a shorter statement. So I help experts transform their knowledge into engaging video content using modern tools and techniques without the overwhelm of technical challenges and imposter syndrome. Now, you would obviously want to work on that. Modern tools and techniques is a bit vague, but you could drill down into that and use this to get ideas. So as I said, this is a great way of looking at your competitors to see what they are doing and to get ideas for your own statement. But just make sure that the statement refers to you, relates to you, and is all about you and your target audience. Now, I hope you have more clarity on who you serve and the niche angle that you're going to take for your channel moving forward. But if you would like more free training, then you can get access to our 30-day YouTube growth sprint, which I'll link to in the video description just below this video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you inside the next one.